Hey, Kyle Logan 2000 here with yet another review. This time of a custom 3D printed Godspeed Flash helmet. Yep, that's a mouthful. But today I'm gonna review this helmet that I 3D printed. The design I did not do myself. The design is from a website called do3d.com. They sell files for different 3D prints. This one in particular I think was about $60. I downloaded the file, printed it, glued it, sanded it, wood filled it, sanded it, wood filled it again, sanded it, primed it, painted it, sealed it, and here we are. Um, I just wanted to do this review to show you kind of what I've been working on lately, just random props here and there, just having fun. Uh, Definitely working on bettering the techniques I've learned from 3D printing and stuff like that. And if you want to learn anything about those techniques or how I finish the product or get 3D print from beginning to end, just let me know. I can make a video about that. If not, then oh well, who cares? But this one in particular was pretty fun. I was trying to work on taking out any imperfections with my Iron Man suit, which I finished by now. With my Iron Man suit, I had a lot of little imperfections here and there, mainly because I was kind of trying to quicken the pace so I could get it done and finish it because I've been working on it for such a long time, but also because I just didn't know some techniques that I learned along the way just by sometimes learning from other people and sometimes just by learning by figuring it out by process of elimination. So with this one, I was very proud that I got a very sleek, shiny look to it. Like it reflects light pretty well, and is really smooth. There's absolutely no print lines anywhere on this helmet, and there's a very few dents or bumps. Usually, you'll get a dent from sanding unevenly. So, like a dent will be from somewhere you wood filled and you sanded it, but there was a little indent in the sanding so that you weren't able to get. And a bump would usually come from when you glued two pieces together, they would make a little bump from the glue going up and making a ridge, and sometimes you can't quite sand that down. So there are a couple of bumps and dents on this helmet, but there are very few and they're a lot harder to notice. Um, and so I was very happy with that, the fact that I was able to kind of clear that up. And then I also learned a lot of new painting techniques, so that I don't have any dripping paint or running paint, so it looks just like one solid color, and it really helps the piece look like one solid piece as opposed to, I cut it into like 20 pieces ish, maybe less, maybe more like 15, but it came out looking like pretty much just one solid piece. There's a couple of imperfections, like you can kind of see a line down here. That's because the helmet cracked while I was sanding it, so I had to kind of fix it on the go. A couple of imperfections throughout the thing is on the little lightning bolt, there's a little bump there. You can see kind of where the highlight ends, and then there's a new dark patch right there. That's because there's a slight bump. It's very hard to notice. Usually you won't notice it unless you put it in a highlight area. I think that's just a byproduct of not gluing directly straight, so it kind of sets off in a different alignment, so it's not quite aligned perfectly, but it's pretty good, close enough. What I was really happy with is, especially on the top part of the dome, it's really hard to notice where one piece ends and another begins, because actually on this piece, you can kind of see it here, but this piece ends right around that line. You can kind of see it more down here, and then it ends also right here, but there's like no way to notice that unless you kind of looked on the inside. There's a little bit of a dent right there, so you can kind of see the highlight difference. But with enough with talking about imperfections, the helmet came out really well and really smooth and glossy finish. I was really proud with it. It had a lot of problems to begin with. Like, there used to be a giant dent and ridge right here because this piece came up and this piece came down, and so it was like a inch of difference, and I kind of put glue there when I was making it, hoping it to level it out, and I leveled it out pretty well. Like, I don't really think it's all that noticeable. Like, I can kind of notice it because, I built it, but I would think if I hadn't told anyone or just handed someone the helmet, they wouldn't really be able to tell. Again, this side's pretty similar to the other side. This one has another ridge too. I think that's just kind of with how the print worked. But a really fun print. It was pretty quick. I think I printed it in like 1 or 2 days. The sanding took a lot more time because I was being a lot more careful with it and making sure that I did it perfectly. And then the painting, a little more time as well because I was doing it very lightly and adding many, many layers to kind of even it out. But overall, I think the patience really paid off because I think the helmet as a whole came out really, really good, especially comparatively to past helmets where I've had a lot of dents or ridges or it just doesn't quite look right. But this one looks amazing. The design is phenomenal. I love it because Godspeed is one of my favorite new Flash villains. And I really like the coloration, and so to build the helmet was really cool for me. And now that I have it, it's really fun to look at and stuff like that. Obviously, I'm not technically done. I want to put the eyepieces in, the with gold lenses. I'm just waiting on the lenses to get here. I ordered them. They're just not here yet. But yeah, I've just been kind of working on this and stuff like that. So if there's any helmet or prop or something like that you'd like to see done or made, I can do my best to make it. And then if there's any tutorials you guys would like to know or even a step-by-step process of how I made something like this, just leave me a comment. And then obviously if you obviously want to buy some of these props or something like that, again, you can leave me a comment. Obviously they're not perfect. There's a lot of imperfections, but with a sale, I would definitely work a lot harder on them. But just let me know if you have any questions or any comments or anything like that. Also, if I'm thinking about doing a Iron Man suit review, so if you guys want to see that and see how I got it all to work, just let me know in a comment. And yeah, I think that's it. All right, see you guys.